Hey everybody, it's Edith again, and this is update 2 for case study 1. Again, just as a reminder, this is the image that I've selected. It's called 4th of July from La Frontera by artist Felipe Galindo, who goes by Fego. And so here's what I have thus far. I have I think I showed you most of it, most of what I had done thus far. I have added some things, and what I added, I was kind of struggling, trying to put things, trying to transfer what Grease did in her book over to the analysis of the photo that I selected. And so what I did is I went ahead and went through each subheading of the chapters, and I created like an overarching question for each of those subheadings so that it would help me to get it into like a better framework. And so that's what I did for each of the chapters. Again, here's the picture. So that's one thing that I did. Also, what I did is under the copyright and fair use, I have also included all of the emails that the email correspondence between Fego and myself. I started out sending him an email talking about a little bit about the class and telling him I actually asked him for permission if I could use his particular image to do the analysis. I explained to him that we were looking at it from the perspective of circulation, transformation, and consequentiality using the new materialistic approach. I also asked him on a personal note how I could purchase a copy or a print of his paintings. He was very prompt to email me back. As you can tell, I emailed him in the afternoon on Saturday, and he emailed me back the same day later on that afternoon. And then, I thanked him again for his prompt reply, and then he could not really respond to me until he was back in his studio. So he was back in his studio. He granted me permission to use the image for the class. He did give me some information on how I could purchase the image. I thanked him for that, and thanked him for allowing me to use the image as well. And then I talked a little bit when we're talking about the intellectual property debate within the world of art, which is in Greece is called Touchstone for Intellectual Property Debate. Like I stated in my previous video, Fego has used the Frida Kahlo image to talk about Frida's New York. With the whole exhibit was entitled Frida's New York, and here you can see her dancing with Statue of Liberty. That's called Frida's Underground Dance. And as I stated earlier, Frida and her husband Diego Rivera kind of had a love-hate relationship with New York. When she was there, and just like with pretty much any artwork, either they love your artwork or they hate it. And so some people were very complimentary of her work while she was in New York, and others were kind of brutal in the manner in which they critiqued it. And so she kind of, as anyone would, kind of took offense to that, and so she had this love-hate relationship. And so here are some of Fego's little digs on this particular topic. As you can tell, Frida Kahlo was always painting like it wasn't a heart like what we see here down at the bottom, or it says where I typed in "I Love New York," which is the title of this particular painting or cartoon rather. the organ, the heart, was very detailed in her particular works, and all of the things were very detailed, and so that's why Fagel decided to print it that rather draw it that way. And here on this one we have Friends of Women's Rights National Park, and you see Frida Kahlo with the monkeys around her. She and Diego Rivera did own monkeys when they lived in Mexico. But you can also see in the background, you can see King Kong and the Empire State Building. And so just the Friends of the National Park. And here's another one, Frida in Nueva York. And the Statue of Liberty is holding Frida, and she's kind of like puzzled, like she's not real sure what's going on with our country. And this was done in 2015. So I included that. Again, like I said, I included all of these little things that will help kind of keep me focused as to what I need to be writing about in each of these sections. As Dr. Garza did point out, there are some sections that may or may not fit, and so the next step I'm going to kind of go through and weed out things, and maybe include other subheadings, weed out others, and then maybe infuse or incorporate a couple of subheadings together, just to kind of make sure that the message is being clearly stated. But this is where I'm at right now. Like I said, I'm really gonna sit down and work on this and just write. I just kind of having a hard time. I was rather having a hard time wrapping my head around everything, and so I really appreciate Dr. Garza. I so appreciate you giving us this information, Helmer's Elements of Visual Analysis. This is going to be extremely helpful. This section right here, the little box that you pointed out, the step-by-step, that's huge. That is really helping me to solidify my plan of action. And then, of course, looking at the literal elements of line, shape, form, texture, and space. And then, of course, color and value. Just phenomenal. And then, I say phenomenal because it's like I had this huge epiphany. And then looking at the arrangement perspective, the vantage point, framing, dominance, balance, proportion, pattern, contrast, grid, all of this is really going to help in the analysis of the work by Fagel, entitled 4th of July from La Frontera. And also, I really like the visual material rhetorical analysis. What I like about your template is that it really is provides contextual specificity, and that's huge because sometimes I call it off-roading. That's what I call it with my students when we kind of go off-roading. I get so excited about a topic that I kind of go off the beaten path, and then I need help sometimes kind of coming back and getting back onto the path. And so this with all its specificity really is helpful. So that's where I'm at, guys, and I wish everybody the best of luck. Again, Dr. Garza, thank you for taking the time to create the videos for us. That's really, really helpful. Those instructional videos are extremely helpful. So I look forward to seeing everyone's updates and final projects, and I hope that everybody has a great day. Bye-bye.